Just real smooth. Get ready. Make sure I'm not going to hit another boat, please. You're clear. Got it. Oh my, that's a big trout, buddy. Come in here. We'll get you to hold it up a bit. I'm gonna bleed him out. Look at that fish. That's
holy.
That's 6-7 pounds.
Oh my gosh, hold it.
That's why I
hold it, bro. Check it out, guys. Right there, 6-7 pound fish.
Crap.
Put your hand right under the gills. I'm gonna get some stills with you. Howdy guys, Cal Kellogg here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and you'll always know when I'm on here on YouTube talking about trout fishing. And today we are going to talk about my most effective trout baits that I've been pulling since around mid-August, okay? It's late November right now, and there are 3 distinct baits that have been producing the lion's share of my fish. I have been getting some fish on spoons, absolutely, but one of my top 3 has been the metalhead trolling fly. You guys have heard me talk about the metalhead and the metalhead magnum. I'm like a metalhead evangelist here on YouTube. If you've been watching the channel any length of time, you well know how effective that metalhead trolling fly is on, you know, trout of all sizes, but particularly on big trophy caliber trout. Enough said about the metalhead. I want to talk soft plastics. I'm going to set this metalhead right there, and I didn't drop it. It's amazing. The 2 soft plastics that have been catching big numbers of fish for me have been the Trout Trix worm right there, and kind of stuck together, the trigger minnow right there. Now last season, you saw a lot of footage of me and my clients out catching really nice trout on the Trout Trix worm. It has a ton of action at low speeds. You control this thing all the way up to like 2.5 miles an hour, maybe even faster. But when it really shines, it's down there 1.5, 1.8, 2 miles an hour. It has a ton of action, but it stays in the strike zone for an extended period of time. And it's got that very slender profile that trout, particularly trout that are kind of on the edge of maybe I'm feeding, maybe I'm not, that slender, non-obtrusive profile can draw strikes from those neutral fish, get that hook point back towards the tail. They come nipping, and they end up in the fish box. So Trout Trix worm, last couple years, highly effective bait. The bait that's really come into its own this year, though, and I'll show you a couple different colors here. Here's a white, here's a bright pink, and of course here is my all-time favorite, the natural colored trigger minnow. These baits have really come into their own this season. Very similar to the Trout Trix worm in terms of rigging. In fact, the rigging we use is identical. You tie a number 4 ring eye hook on the end of your leader, put on a couple bobber stops. Between the bobber stops and the hook, you put on a bead. Above the bobber stops, you put on the action disc. It's simple as that. You thread the bait on the hook, and you are ready to fish. What you see in the water, though, in terms of action between the Trout Trix worm and the trigger minnow is very different. The Trout Trix worm has more action. It has that long, slender profile. The minnow bait, the trigger minnow, it has, you know, for lack of a better description, it has a deadly, frantically swimming minnow action to it. It looks like a minnow. When the fish grab it, it feels like a minnow. It's been fish on. Started out doing very well with this bait right here at Lake Elminor. Then we moved over to Eagle Lake, Lake Davis, continued catching fish on this. I was catching fish on with this bait out at Folsom. Then when I got over to Collins Lake, got after those planted trout, you know, the big lassen planters, pink trout trick or pink trigger minnows. I get confused myself. Pink trigger minnows, sometimes the white, but particularly the orange, which I didn't have any in my garage. The orange has been very good for us. That fish you saw caught in the beginning of the video, that was caught on an orange trigger minnow. Now, I am sold out of trigger minnows at this time, but they are on their way. They have shipped to me. We have a pretty extensive waiting list at the store, and I suggest if you don't have trigger minnows and you want to get in on the trigger minnow fishing, you know, that's right down the road, it's going to continue producing for us. Get on over to FHS Fishing. Find trigger minnows in the store and jump on that waiting list. That way you're going to get an email notification when they become available. I think I've got 100+ people on the waiting list right now. So get on that list. As soon as I get them, we will package them up and we will send them out your way. Enough said about that. Big picture though, guys. I've been telling you for the last 2 years that the new frontier of trout trolling is soft plastics. And it is coming true. I knew it was going to come true. They've gone from being experimental baits for me. I'll show you kind of that handful right there. They've gone from being experimental baits for me to tried and true, run them every day when I'm looking to produce fish for my clients or fish on video baits. Super consistent results. They've got the right action. They've got the right feel. And you can present them at the right speed that really turns on those trout that are kind of in a neutral mood. Let's face it, we can catch those hot trout. We can pull speed spoons, Rapala, speedy shiners, you know, trigger spoons, whatever. When those trout are hot and willing to chase, that's a great day. You get out there, troll fast, troll those spoons, 2.5, 3 miles an hour, fish on, fish on, fish on. It's a great time. But when you hit the water and the fish are kind of neutral, they don't really want to go, they don't really want to chase, that's when you need to slow down. And that's when you need to show those fish something that has a very natural look and a very natural feel. And that's when you should be pulling the soft plastics. Anyway, I'm out of here for now. Got a bunch of videos lined up for the coming week. I've been out doing a lot of fishing, and I'm going to try to share a maximum amount of knowledge with you guys this coming week. There's a barking dog over there. I don't think he likes me. I don't think he likes trout fishing. Anyway, I'm out of here for now. I'm going to go in and actually watch the Raider and Kansas City Chiefs game. You have a great rest of the Thanksgiving weekend, you know, just a few hours left in that. And we'll be back here talking trout fishing really, really soon. If you want to book a trip at the same place you can buy my tackle, fhsfishing.com. Check out my guiding calendar. I have dates left in December up at Collins Lake. The lake is full of fish, and there are some big fish being kicked out right now. I'm Kel Kellogg. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. I'm out of here.